In Unit 16, Part 3, we continue talking about similarity by talking about scale drawings. So, a few definitions for you. A scale drawing is a 2D drawing that is similar to the object it represents. So think like a map is a 2D drawing. A scale model is a 3D model that is similar to the object it represents. So the only difference between a drawing and a model is that a drawing is 2D, a model is 3D. And then the scale is what gives the relationship between the drawing or model's dimensions and the actual dimensions. So, at the bottom, it says, using a scale drawing. It says, on a map, the distance between two cities is 3 inches. What is the actual distance in miles between the two cities if the map scale is 1 inch to 70 miles? So you're going to start with your first ratio, which is 1 inch to 70 miles. We're then going to build that into a proportion because they're similar. So we know that it's going to be a proportion. And the map tells us that it's 3 inches, and we want to know how many miles. Then you can write this proportion without the units if it makes it easier to solve. So 1 over 70 is equal to 3 over x. I can cross multiply. 1 times x is x. 70 times 3 is 210. So 210 miles. So for this problem, they gave us the scale, and they gave us the dimensions on the drawing, on the map. We had to find the actual dimensions. The next part says finding the scale of the drawing. So it says, in a scale drawing, a wall is 2 inches long. The actual wall is 10 feet long. Find the scale of the drawing. So we start by writing the ratio, which is the 2 inches on the drawing over the 10 feet in real life. To make this a scale, we want the numerator to be 1. So in order to do that, I'm just going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. So I'll get 1 inch to 5 feet. Okay? Because a scale should be 1 for something. Right? So again, just divide by whatever the numerator is to make it 1. On the back side, it says write a scale without units. So it says write the scale from the question before without units. So if you remember, we got a scale of 1 inch to 5 feet. And so that's the scale we came up with. In order to write a scale without units, we need to make it have the exact same units. So what I mean by that is I either need to turn inches into feet or feet into inches. So obviously it's going to be a lot easier to turn feet into inches by just multiplying by 12. So 5 feet is 60 inches. Now if you look, I have the same unit. I have 1 inch to 60 inches. So then I can just change that to 1 to 60. So it's a scale without units. So a 1 inch to 5 feet scale is the same as a 1 inch to 60 inch scale. So then I can write it without units and just write 1 to 60. The last part says finding the dimension of a scale. It says a model of the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington has a scale of 1 to 110. The height of the Space Needle is 605 feet. Find the height of the model. So we start with our first ratio, which was our scale, which is 1 over 110. Okay. Our scale always goes from the model, okay, so I know that the top is the model, to the actual on the bottom. So when it tells us the Space Needle is 605 feet, I know I need to put that on the bottom, and then I'm looking for a scale that's going to be in inches. So now, if I want to, I can rewrite this without any units on there, or any writing on there, so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I'll get 110x equals 605. Then I divide by 110 to get my answer. So x equals 5.5. So that's going to be my answer. Alright, there's some review prompts at the bottom. Do your best on those. If you need help, just let me know. They're just on proportions, so they should be pretty easy.